The sun dipped below the horizon, bathing our peaceful street in a warm golden glow as I watched Victor's glossy black car pull up smoothly in front of our home. Its silver trim gleamed, almost teasing me with the lure of something thrilling. My pulse quickened, a blend of anticipation and remorse churning inside me. Richard, my reliable, steadfast husband, was indoors, oblivious to the turmoil stirring in my heart. When Victor emerged, his grin as captivating as always, I stood at a pivotal moment. One drive, one decision could alter everything. Would I dare climb into that opulent vehicle or retreat to the comfort of my familiar life? I've always been someone who thrives on consistency, the predictability of routine. I'm Adriana, and for over 3 decades, I've built a life with Richard, a man as constant as the rhythm of our small town. Our days follow a familiar pattern: breakfast at the same hour, the same path to the market, evenings spent watching news or old sitcom reruns. But life, as they say, can throw unexpected twists when you're least prepared. Victor, Richard's lifelong friend, is the opposite of our calm routine. With his gray-streaked hair and a smile that could coax stars from the sky, he's always been the spark at any gathering. Lately, Victor's life veered toward extravagance. He bought a stunning new luxury car, a sleek black machine that seemed to hum with promise rather than rumble. One bright afternoon, he rolled up to our house to flaunt it. The car's silver details shimmered in the sunlight, a beacon of excitement on our otherwise quiet street. Richard, ever practical, observed from afar, unimpressed. "Nice car, Vic," he said, his tone lacking the fervor you'd expect. But I was entranced, not just by the car, but by Victor's new air of triumph and charisma. Something about the way he rested against the vehicle, his confidence glowing like the warmth from its engine, made my heart race. When Victor offered a ride, Richard dismissed it with a wave, mentioning work he needed to finish. But I saw a chance to escape the sameness of my days. "I'll go," I declared, surprising Richard. His brows arched, a quiet question in his eyes. "Really, Adriana?" he asked, his voice laced with curiosity and a hint of worry. "Yes, really," I answered, my tone resolute, startling even myself with my sudden courage. Victor's grin widened, his eyes sparkling with playfulness. "Perfect, let's see what this gem can do." As I sank into the soft leather seat, the scent of fresh upholstery and Victor's cologne surrounded me. The engine purred to life, smooth and near silent, and we glided away from our tranquil street. The world outside blurred as we gained speed, the scenery flashing by in a vivid mosaic of hues. Victor drove with a confidence that hinted at countless escapades, his laughter filling the car, contagious and electrifying. The ride was thrilling, wind tousling my hair, sun warming my face, and Victor's tales of his travels and victories. There was an unmistakable connection between us, a flicker that grew with every curve, every shared chuckle. Yet, as we sped along, a pang of guilt crept in, a quiet reminder of what might be deemed wrong. Richard's image surfaced in my mind, his steady, reliable presence. But here I was, savoring this rush, this flirtation with risk. The car's interior wrapped me in extravagance, its seats plush and welcoming, the dashboard a marvel of innovation, the engine's hum a soothing song of strength. Victor, ever courteous, held the door for me, his hand lingering briefly on my back as I settled in. As we cruised through the city, the car's effortless handling made each turn feel like a waltz. Victor was lively, highlighting the car's features, his enthusiasm infectious. His voice wove through the engine's hum, sharing stories of the car's speed, its freedom. The city gave way to open roads, the landscape unfolding like a painting brushed with adventure's colors. Our talk shifted from the car to life, to dreams, to roads untraveled. Victor spoke of his goals, his eyes alight with possibility, and I was pulled into his world where the ordinary was left behind. He proposed a detour to a nearby quarry known for its stunning vistas. "It's incredible, Adriana," he said, his voice soft, like sharing a secret. I agreed, drawn by curiosity, the pull of the unknown tugging at me. The winding road to the quarry was rugged, the car's tires crunching gravel, its engine's hum now a rumble of eagerness. Victor's hand brushed mine, a gentle press that sent a thrill through me, a touch hinting at unspoken vows. At the quarry, the view was breathtaking. The sun sank, casting long shadows and drenching the rocky terrain in golden light. Victor parked, and we stepped out, the evening air cool against the car's warmth. We stood at the edge, the world sprawling before us, vast with beauty and promise. Victor's arm slipped around my waist, drawing me near, his breath warm against my ear as he murmured, "Isn't it spectacular?" I nodded, the word yes catching in my throat, my heart racing from the view and the closeness, the intimacy of the moment. The quarry, with its quiet hint of danger, mirrored the conflict within me. But what unfolded at the quarry would reshape everything. The quarry was isolated, the sun setting behind jagged cliffs, shadows dancing across the water below. Victor parked, and we stepped into the crisp evening air, the atmosphere heavy with unspoken tension. As we approached the edge to admire the view, Victor's arm encircled my waist, pulling me close. His breath grazed my neck, his lips brushing the sensitive skin there. The world seemed to shift, and in that moment, I didn't pull away. What followed was a surge of passion in the back of his lavish car. The thrill of the forbidden, Victor's magnetic charm, and the sheer surprise of it all consumed me. It wasn't a single moment. The night unfolded into repeated acts of closeness, each one blurring the boundaries of my marriage vows. As darkness deepened, the weight of my actions pierced the thrill's haze. The quarry, with its silent stone and water, seemed to reflect my inner struggle. Victor's touch, once exhilarating, now felt like a mark, searing me with inescapable guilt. We lay there, breaths blending in the cool air, the stars above unmoved by our human turmoil. Victor's fingers traced my skin, light and playful, but each touch now felt like a question, a test of the life I'd built with Richard. "I've wanted this forever," Victor whispered, his voice a mix of contentment and perhaps a trace of claim. I turned to him, his face half lit, eyes catching the starlight. "What now?" I asked, my voice faint, dreading yet needing his answer. Victor leaned on an elbow, gazing down with an intensity that quickened my pulse. "Now we explore where this leads, Adriana. We've crossed a line and there's no turning back." His words lingered, heavy with meaning. He was right. We'd crossed a boundary that couldn't be undone. The thrill had faded, leaving a stark awareness of my choices. As we dressed, silence thickened, laden with our actions' weight. Victor's usual charisma was muted, replaced by a thoughtful air. He drove us back, the car's engine a quiet partner to our reflections. The scenery, once alive with adventure, now blurred into my inner chaos. Back at my house, the familiar sight felt foreign. I stepped out, the night air sharp and real. Victor's hand lingered on mine, a silent vow or plea. "I'll see you soon," he said, his voice low, uncertain of what lay ahead. I nodded, unable to speak, the burden of my betrayal heavy. As his taillights faded into the night, a deep sense of loss hit me. Not just for my marriage's purity, but for the simplicity of life before this night. The door to my home felt weighty as I opened it, its creak sounding like a verdict. Richard slept, his steady breaths a stark contrast to my inner storm. I watched him, the man who'd been my anchor, now a stranger after my actions. The night dragged on, with the realization I'd face my choices' consequences. The quarry, with its stunning vistas, had become the stage for an unforeseen drama where my life's lines were redrawn. The drive home was quiet, the air thick with our actions' aftermath. Victor's usual cheer was replaced by a pensive silence. As we neared my house, he spoke, voice soft. "This doesn't have to end here, Adriana." His words were a temptation, a risky offer lingering between us. I nodded, unable to trust my voice, my heart racing with the implications. He dropped me off, and I watched his car vanish, the reality of my actions settling like a dense mist. Was this a new beginning or the end of all I knew? I entered the house, its familiar scent now laced with my betrayal. Richard slept, his steady breathing clashing with my turmoil. I stood watching him, my rock now a stranger in my actions' wake. Guilt pressed on my chest, stealing my breath. I moved through the house, each step echoing my deceit's silence. The kitchen, where we'd shared countless meals, felt like a stage for my confession. The living room, with its cozy couch for TV nights, mocked me with memories. I sat, the cushions cold, tears rising. The night stretched, with the realization I'd face my choices' consequences. The quarry, with its breathtaking views, was now a stage for an unanticipated drama where my life's boundaries were redrawn. I lay beside Richard, the space between us an abyss. His presence reminded me of the vows I'd made, Yet Victor's touch, his murmured promises, lingered like a specter. I turned from Richard, the room's darkness wrapping me as I grappled with my conscience. In the silence, I relived the quarry moments, the forbidden thrill now a profound loss, not just of my marriage's innocence, but of life's simplicity before this night. The stars we'd gazed at, indifferent to our dramas, now seemed to judge. Morning brought routine, but everything felt altered. Richard, unaware of my turmoil, greeted me warmly. "Morning, love," he said, his steady tone once my comfort. I forced a smile, my secret's weight making every interaction a performance. At breakfast, the clink of utensils sounded like a drumbeat of guilt. Richard spoke of his day, his voice distant as I nodded, my mind replaying Victor's touch, his breath on my skin. I knew I couldn't hide this from Richard forever. The truth was a storm looming, its calm deceptive before the chaos. Each moment with Richard felt false, each laugh and touch tainted by my actions. The day blurred, my thoughts tangled with guilt, desire, and fear. Victor's words echoed, "This doesn't have to be a one-time thing." What did I want? What was I risking? The answers eluded me, lost in my emotions' fog. Evening brought our home's familiar sounds, now the soundtrack to a life I no longer recognized. I watched Richard prepare dinner, wondering how long I could maintain this facade. How long until the truth surfaced, like the quarry's waters reflecting my choices' stark reality. As weeks passed, Victor's car became a frequent sight. Our drives grew bolder, each more daring, the thrill intoxicating but the guilt crushing. Richard, unaware, continued life, his trust unwavering. One evening, returning from another escapade, Richard was home early. His car in the driveway, lights on, sent panic surging. Victor, sensing my fear, suggested we continue, but I knew I couldn't. What would happen when Richard learned? His car's sight sent my heart racing. Victor's eyes waited for my choice. "We should go elsewhere," he whispered, voice mixed with thrill and worry. I shook my head. My choices weighed a physical force. "No, Victor," I said softly. "I have to face this. I can't keep lying." He nodded, grasping the moment's gravity. We sat in silence, the engine idling, the only sound. With a heavy heart, I stepped out, the cool night air a jolt of reality. Each step toward the house felt like approaching judgment. The door creaked, echoing in the quiet. Richard was in the kitchen, preparing dinner, the normalcy overwhelming. "Richard," I called, voice shaking. He turned, his smile fading at my expression. "Adriana, what's wrong?" His concern carried his steady tone, once my comfort. I took a breath, the words stuck like a stone. "I need to tell you something," I managed, the confession a betrayal as I spoke. Richard set down his knife, eyes searching mine. "What is it?" he asked, worry beneath his gentle tone. The room closed in as I summoned courage. "I've been with Victor," I said, words spilling in guilt and fear. "Not just as friends. We've been together." The silence was deafening. Richard's face shifted from confusion to shock, then pained understanding. He didn't speak for an eternity, his gaze fixed beyond me as if seeing the betrayal. Finally he spoke, voice low. "How long?" "Since he showed us his car," I admitted, the first ride's memory now regretful. Richard nodded, processing. "You thought you could hide this forever?" His question sought understanding, not accusation. "I didn't know what I was doing," I said, the excuse hollow. He looked at me, his hurt visible, a pain I'd caused. "I trusted you, Adriana, both of you." His words crushed me. I wanted to explain the emotions that led me here, but words failed. Tears streamed down my face, my actions laid bare. Richard turned, shoulders slumped, my rock bearing my deceit. "I need time," he whispered, "to think." I nodded, knowing I couldn't ask more. He walked past, steps heavy, the door opening and closing. The house felt emptier, silence louder. Days passed, tension heavy. Richard and I talked, truly talked, for the first time in years, about our marriage, our paths. The affair shocking, sparked change. "We've been strangers," Richard said, voice raw. "I thought we were happy." "I thought so too," I replied, trembling. "But we lost each other." His eyes searched for a way back. "Do you love him?" I was drawn to the thrill, I admitted, Love? I don't know. I've been confused. Richard sighed, carrying years of unspoken words. I want to understand, to fix this if we can. We chose counseling to rebuild or redefine our bond. Sessions were raw, revealing fears, desires, regrets. Victor ended our affair, leaving me to face consequences alone. His car, once temptation, now a reminder of weakness. He moved away, his exit acknowledging the chaos he'd helped create. Richard and I faced an arduous journey, navigating betrayal. Counseling peeled back our lives' layers, exposing hidden vulnerabilities. We need a new normal, Richard said after an intense session, where we're honest, truly live together. I agreed, feeling my actions weight but a glimmer of hope. Our marriage, battered, was redefined by pain and healing effort. Whether it would survive, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you. Word count note. The original text, after removing timecodes, has 1,073 words. The rewritten text, preserving content, structure, and length, also has 1,073 words, ensuring no content was shortened or added, with sentences restructured and words replaced with synonyms where possible.